screen right there. Bracken, how are you doing right now?
I'm doing just fine, hanging in there, ready to see how my boys did yesterday. I haven't
Mhm.
actually watched this game yet.
Yeah, I'm very, very interested to see. If you didn't know, this is a recast of a set that happened earlier in the week, so we'll be um kind of re-commentating uh this set here.
Yeah, gonna be an interesting one, I think. Hairnets, new org, VHS, obviously the three division champion last season, but new looks all around. So
Mhm.
gonna be interesting to kind of see what these two teams are prioritizing right now.
Yeah, I think a big thing about these teams is that VHS kind of has that championship status that they've kind of fostered and grown. And Hanford Hairnets, they have some powerhouses, some hitters on their team. Their roster tonight is filled with all-star talent. Um, and that's quite nice. And they're gonna start it off with a nice little Hades band coming out. What do you think about Hades? He's come prominent into the meta very, very quickly. What do you think about kind of Hades as a character right now?
I think in lane, obviously, he's got his ridiculous pressure and he builds the
Hmm.
full damage and the heals and whatever. But as a backliner in those team fights, he kind of just like one shot you for free a lot of the time,
Hmm.
and you play him as like a supercharged version of kind of my whole goal is to kill one backliner and die. Where sometimes you
Hmm.
do that and then you look up and you haven't lost any health as Hades. So just a real threat to just blink into your back line, and then you can't get away because he'll just blink at you first, and then wait for you to dash, and then dash
Hmm.
on you, and then you're dead.
Yeah. Speaking of some of these other bands, another character that's can do quite similar things that Thor band. We've seen Thor go absolutely crazy as of late, doing lots and lots and lots of
Now the
damage,
deed shall
just
be
coming in
written
from
in
all across the
legend.
map. And it looks like we let Guan Yu through in the picks and bans. I don't know if you can really allow Guan Yu to get past these picks and bans phase. He's another clearly the second best solo laner in the game right now. Super, super strong. Has that incredible healing potential. Great prot shred. A lot of damage overall. I think VHS is in a little bit of trouble already off the first pick.
Maybe so. I think there may have been just the thought of,
Hmm.
they have, I believe, Fuzzy playing solo this game. I
Hmm.
know that's not his main role. Maybe they thought, whatever. Maybe he's not going to be able to pilot that Guan Yu well enough to make it worth it. But I'm with the healing dive. The stun is such a great setup from the ultimate to be
Hmm.
able to just drop any burst mage you want, big ultimate off of that stun for free. It could be really, really disrupting. So hopefully VHS does have some counter picks here that are gonna maybe neutralize that some.
You are not yet
Yeah, it
ready
looks like they're
to
gonna start
become
off
the
with
Jade
Yu Huang,
Emperor.
another
I will leave
fantastic pick right now. Yu
standing
Huang is
no
just
barrier to
super,
our
super good, and
success.
Ganesha as well. Being able to stop some of that Guan Yu ability is very, very, very nice. Um,
My
and
victory
and
shall
just
be
overall being
sweeter than
super,
honey.
super strong in the meta right now. AMC coming out. Now we've seen a lot of AMC in the meta, and as the resident AMC expert, why do you think that is?
Well, it's pressure, pressure, and ult. Your lane is basically free because you are in mid, and as long as you're not being caught out in the jungle
Hmm.
too much, you can kind of just get all the mid pressure, get those camps, get formed up, and then late game, you should basically never be ulting a squishy unless it's free or the end of a fight. You're trying to do the last little bit. You just want to hold that stinger, and then as soon as the solo laner or support, if the support happens to be the one diving, comes in, you just ult him and then you blow him up because that prot
Hmm.
shred is huge. It's especially good as like an anti-siege tool. If that solo laner comes in and thinks they're just going to tank the tower and they get stingered, those tower shots start to
You're
really,
not going
really tear through you.
anywhere.
So he's just really oppressive and can kill the tanks. It's kind of the best of both worlds.
Nice, nice. We're gonna see that Jing Tian pick come out, and there's a lot of beats burning potential on them, but I'm not so certain I really like this Jing Tian pickup as of right now. I mean, that Yu Huang already can reaction can reactably get out of his ultimate with his 3, and while you
of
are
the depths!
forcing the Yu Hong 3, he can also ult out of there as well. He has a lot of options to deal with that, and that Charybdis, again, another character that has a lot of options to deal with this Jing Tian pick here. I'm not so sure I really like that pickup.
Yeah, I don't necessarily love it either. I feel like you're
Mhm,
investing a lot into really one issue, and of the picks that they have so far, I don't even think that's probably the smallest issue of the three. So
mhm.
a little bit of an oversell, I think, into I don't know, just safety. I don't know, not so sure about that one.
Yeah, I mean, possibly committing to a little bit of a beads burning situation here, but I think at least on the
Winning or
backline
losing
side of
doesn't matter.
VHS,
We all shall
beads burning
return to
isn't
nature in the
really
end.
that big of a threat. We see the Ardio coming out here, and whilst Ardio is a good pick, it'll probably do fine in that laning phase. Once again, I'm questioning a big reason why you pick that Ardio up is because that field wide cripple that can just force out beads, it can force out a lot of things, and I'm not really seeing a lot of characters that are going to be affected by that cripple all that much.
Yeah, maybe just to slow down the Guan Yu. I feel like maybe VHS just
Mhm.
kind of wants to muck it up in the back line and take these fights slow and just
Mhm.
use the poke from the Yu Hang, maybe the oboe if the Cryptus chooses to build that, and
Mhm.
then just counter dive. And maybe that's the strategy.
Supernova!
But Soul coming out, assume
So,
ADC.
uh, possibly.
Let the
I think
sound of
Soul
slaughter
Soul
begin!
is a really strong um a really strong. I wouldn't say super strong pick, but it is somewhat strong. We've seen a little bit of Soul in the SPL. It's a huge pressure generator. I mean, it can if you can't out clear someone on Soul, you have a lot of kill pressure on them. And so Soul's kind of a very aggressive pick in both that mid and duo lane, and they kind of have the ability to flex where these picks are going. But knowing these people, I think I'm gonna assume that Soul's going into that ADC lane, and they're gonna try and make that work there. And I think I overall like the draft of Hanford Hairnets a little bit more.
I think I do too. I do
Mhm,
not like the RDO here. I feel like that they would have been better served with I mean, really anything. I think a
mhm,
Ravana would have been a little bit better. The Achilles to execute the Guan Yu.
mhm.
I just don't know what the RDO does in these fights.
Yeah. Also think this Ganesh pickup here can struggle a lot, especially when in a triple auto attack comp, with really only getting much value off of forcing Jing Tian to not be able to ult, or forcing Guan Yu to or canceling Guan Yu ability. I don't really know how much I like this Ganesha pick now, looking into this team comp.
Yeah, it felt like they picked it early because
Hmm.
they needed to pick, and everyone else wanted to wait. To be honest, I don't think that the Ganesha was a necessity top two. I don't know that they would have picked. They may have picked it on the side of Hanford Hairnets, but I feel like of the top three there, if you're looking Xing Chen second pick,
Hmm.
that's just what you were looking for. There's no,
Yeah.
oh well, we pick Ganesha if it's up. It's like no, I mean playing Xing Chen, that's kind of all we got. So I don't know. We'll get in a game and see how this lane goes, but I'm a little worried about what we're really going to be able to get out of the front line for VHS
Mhm.
this.
Heading right on into this game here. Looking at it, we saw a little bit. We saw that Jingtian checking that purple buff, and that's just something you have to do as a support right now. With how much, with how easily supports have found out that they can just
Minions
clear the
have
purple buff
spawned.
before the enemy team's able to get there. They can really do some damage if you're not careful about those buff clears.
Yeah, and even if you're only able to steal those two small minions, you're still putting your ADC ahead. Now,
Hmm.
obviously, it's dependent on the support that you have, as well as does your
Hmm.
hunter having level 2 actually matter? Is that a strong
Hmm.
power spike for you?
Hmm.
But certainly something we're seeing a lot more.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing a lot more of it. We've also kind of seen a few other jungle starts pop up. None of the teams will be using them today, but a few other options kind of because of that start. crawling through.
Yeah, worth noting something a little unusual here. You do see Camazot's going for the bracer early on rather than a shell or something more common early. We have seen more bracer, but I'm typically more used to seeing it as that second relic slot, so clearly a lot of aggression planned from this Hairnets duo side. This Soul already poked out.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be working though, as this Soul is extremely low, healing a lot of HP off that one there, as well as some potion picking. But it seems that VHS are in control of this lane.
Yeah, good start so far. People kind of underestimate the Charybdis clear. Looks like maybe this duo lane not quite on the same page about what they wanted to do next, but Charybdis is clear level 1 pretty good, especially if you're not able to get all your damage off on the wave of Soul, so not entirely surprised, but I don't think it's going to be able to continue this way much longer.
Interesting to note that Charybdis did not go their dash there, so there is some potential there. Kali looking to be in a bit of trouble here, though, as Amuz and Cobb make sure to come in and de-escalate the situation.
Yeah, nothing really doing there, but honestly, Kali's still alive. That's really all you need to do. Keep that clock ticking, of course. We know the late game effect of the Kali, so not a bad start so far for either side, but late game I think is going to be favoring game here pretty strongly.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I mean, that AMC mid lane is just a menace to the role right now. You know, it's providing a lot of pressure. Guan Yu as well. I mean, a late game beast. He's able to let your teammate, you know, try and engage, mess up a few times, and then go in and try again in a few minutes.
Yeah. And really, Artio is such a perfect candidate for exactly what I was describing for those late game fights for AMC anyway. If she goes in, she's an easy stinger, and then she's just meat that you can just churn through. So, gonna have to be played very carefully as we see VHS grouping up, making sure that this purple buff stays safe.
Yeah, a lot of members on VHS coming around to secure this purple buff. And honestly, I'm a little curious, you know, that Soul isn't really there to try and help. We see Jinqian getting very, very active here and kind of zoning them off of this wave entirely.
Yeah, just being rude, to be honest. Nothing really going on. No objectives on the map, and Camazot's just doing his best to stay active anyway. Both have a 4 over VHS, so gonna keep the pressure on for now.
Yeah, and I think it's the right call here. We could see a little bit of action in this solo lane here as this Guan Yu is getting quite low. Artio does have the ability to stop that 3 from Guan Yu, but it looks like Artio's not willing to take these trades as Kali is nearby searching and lurking for him. As Guan Yu's gonna try and get on that backtrack, but will it be stopped? It could be here. Susano's in the area, looking to try and make an impact. Gets the pull. Will the damage be enough? Guan Yu taking very low. Susano also getting very low, but they will pick up the first blood of the game, going straight to Aqua. And I'm honestly a little curious as to how he was able to sneak that kill through that Susano right there.
Yeah, interesting that he was able to steal it, but all in all, a good gank. Skills was in the area, but chose to back off, and now he's going to take some camps for his trouble. But yeah, just a little bit impatient from Skills, backing too early and leaving that option open, and then Fuzzy just greeds for the wave and gets caught for it.
Yeah, Fuzzy greeding a little bit too hard for the wave. Well, just kind of also lazy backed a little bit there as well. Something you absolutely cannot do when you have someone like Susano who can chase you all the way down the entire lane. You can't really get away with anything of the sort.
No, not around here, and not the way Underclass plays that Susano, especially. He'll find you. He's got the smell for you. He has Thanatos passive all the time. He just knows when you're low.
We're starting to see this game sort of slow down a little bit here. Hanford Hairnets keeping up in gold despite losing that first blood here, and I think it's a smart play for them to keep it slow. I think the slower this game goes, the better chance they have of winning here, because it's the only way I really see them struggling in that late game is if VHS is really, really far ahead.
Yeah, and at this rate, you know, they're slowing it down, like you said, but they're still keeping a pretty strong stranglehold around the mid and left side of the map. There's no farm for VHS to be getting. You see about a level and a half discrepancy in the ADC role. That's going to be huge because Soul's pressure, especially as we get into the mid game, is going to be focused around, am I still 2 levels higher than you? Okay, you can't fight me.
Yeah, we finally saw Artio using that Mez to stop that Guan Yu clear, and that's something we've seen a lot of. Why people are picking up Artio in this matchup. They can kind of stop Guan Yu from clearing the wave at all, and plays deny some farms, do a lot of things with that there.
Something worth noting, maybe Skills tipping his hand and playing him in the solo side of the map. Rushes the Kensai's first item here. Gonna be able to chew through Artio, but really not anyone else, so it might be worth a few extra wards from Aqua. Now things start to turn.
Yeah, things are starting to turn. With that Jing Tian ultimate coming out, but a nice dodge from Susano. Gonna be able to get him out of there. The Ganesha's Ohm coming out, but not too much else can be followed out from there. And this is kind of looking at this Guan Yu. This is exactly what I was talking about. Guan Yu's extremely low, but it seems like Artio might not be able to pick up this kill. He's backing underneath that tower. Artio's gonna stop that back, go up the dive, forcing the ultimate. The ultimate is missed, and Susano's looking to come and clean up this kill. And Susano will pick that up, another kill over here. And this is what seems to be VHS's game plan. They're looking to pick on that Guan Yu and try and force him to be behind in this game.
Yeah, looking like just maybe a difference in the level of experience in the solo lane here. Aqua obviously very comfortable in this matchup, and Fuzzy just kind of struggling to even just stay in lane right now, getting poked really hard. Obviously, there is the inherent counter matchup to it, but I mean, if you can't even walk up to the wave, it's going to be a long day. You're only level 7.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, just getting to that lane, especially with Artio being able to deny your clear under tower, it looks like Spooky Mars is going to pick up a kill in the mid lane very quickly. It seems that Pain and Six Pass was just out of position right there.
Yeah, not sure what happened, and Ganesha just kind of chilling in the mid lane. It looked like he didn't really know what happened either, so I don't know. Gonna be interesting to watch that one back, maybe if they do a VOD review, because clearly not on the same page, whereas Spooky and Camazotz, believe it or not, after all the time that they've spent playing together, have kind of figured out when they're gonna go.
Yeah, definitely on point here. I mean, just capitalizing off of any slight mistake is what should be happening. They're starting to already get some wards in that jungle, looking very, very aggressive to that side of the map indeed.
Something to keep an eye on here. Kojo in that ADC role, despite being down about a level and a half, still investing in the crit as we see Susano pick up the kill on the skills. Seeing the crit a lot more helps you box if you get it first, but being this far behind, how do you feel about getting the crit from such a disadvantage?
I think that getting the crit, it does make sense on some characters, but I think especially on Charybdis does so well with so many of those pen items.
Yeah.
Odysseus bow, Kinsai's, a lot of those items take advantage of her unique attacking chain so well that I think even if you were ahead, it would almost make more sense to go with the pen build.
I agree, and it's really, as you see the Gold Fury going down, now potentially it does go to the Hanford Hairnets secured by the Supernova. The crit is supposed to be for those early objective burns, but you've got a soul on the other team that's ahead of you. You're never going to be able to out-objective burn them, and you're not ahead enough to really try it. So I have to question that a little bit, but maybe it will work out. Maybe that crit is what they need to maybe start to get some pressure in this lane, and Kojo could be looking to go for some trades finally after he gets an item or two.
It does make a little bit of sense, especially into the soul pickup. Being able to deny healing is very nice. But we've seen a lot of soul pickup here, and it looks like MC getting caught out of position. The Susano ultimately coming down, the beads coming out. Susanoo not being able to pick up the kill. It looks like AMC will be forced to use his beads, but that's not all. We see Jingtian getting the beads from Susanoo as well, and they're going to trade a few ultimates and a few relics, and I've got to say, I think VHS blew an opportunity right there.
I think so, and it's kind of unfortunate. There wasn't anything that they could do to pick up the AMC. They do get his beads, but you kind of just need to kill the bug there. There just has to be a dead AMC on that play. You caught him out, you hit everything, and then it just still wasn't quite enough. It's just that XP difference in the mid lane, I think, starting to come up and really be a factor.
Yeah, especially, you know, since they've gotten that kill, he's been pretty far ahead in that mid lane, now 2 levels ahead, which is going to allow them to do a lot of extra stuff on this map, like trying to force pyros and take these very, very quickly. They have that Kali. That Kali already has a Kins online, and it's looking to get what I believe to be a golden blade. It might be another item, or it might actually be the speed up katana, but it definitely allowing them to shred things like these pyromancers, like these golds, extremely quickly, which is going to be a big problem for Hanford. They have to keep these. They have to be super vigilant about these wardings and making sure that every objective is constantly warded, because if they're not paying attention for a second, any of these objectives can disappear.
Yeah, and, you know, hopefully, as we get further into the mid-game and Pain gets some items, that could just as well be true for the other side once the crit starts to come through. So these objectives better stay warded by both teams, and I could see fights starting to tip off around these oracles just out of the want to keep that up. So I guess we'll have to see the fight for the totem continues. Yeah,
Guan Yu taking a lot of damage there, gonna be able to ult out there. Kali also forcing to ult out. The Ohm was just a little bit too late for any of that to happen, but it might not be over as we see them starting to dive here. Kali looking to get in there, a dash out, very, very nice play to get them out of there, but Kali going in 3v1, looking to make something happen here, getting forced out. Ganesha could be in some trouble though. AMC is on that, hits the stinger. Kali also doing a lot of damage to this Yuhong here, taking a lot here. The Yuhong will go down as we see Skills picking up that kill as Ardio tries to make the rest of that happen. On the other end of the fight though, Susanoo looking to be in some trouble as AMC gets pretty low. He's going to look to back out of this fight as Jingtian keeps pushing the envelope there.
Yeah, I think that that's still a trade that VHS is okay with. They're just trying to get some momentum at this point. They've got some kills, but they can't seem to get the gold lead to translate anywhere. So maybe that is their play. Now they might look at the Pyromancer. But Skills gets the kills right there. One at least onto the mid laner. So Pain again falls, and he's going to keep falling further behind. I don't know. I think that draws pretty even, though, between both.
Yeah, but you always have to be worried about giving a Kali any kills. You know, there's always an uneven amount of gold distributed, and when Kali gets a lead at all, it's almost terrifying. As we see over here, though, Jingtian could be in a little bit of trouble, but Susanoo, looking to be in a little bit more, is going to have to back out of there. And kind of recoup his losses, which is another thing. While he's backing, while he's doing all this stuff, once again, that Kali is getting so much farm all across this map.
Yeah, Kali starting to exert a lot of pressure in these mid 3v3 fights, where it's just sometimes if the Kali gets the right positioning on you, all you can do as Susanoo is just ult live, just like that. Kind of got caught off guard. Kali gets in his face. I just have to ult to live.
Yeah, speaking of this Kali, what do you think of this build here? Quite an unusual build path from Skills. What do you think is kind of the objective, or how effective do you think this build will be?
I think in terms of Kali builds, it's pretty bad. I don't get the Kins rush unless you're gonna sit on Aqua, which he really hasn't been. And I don't think that Hasten Katana is ever really worth it, to be honest with you. But it's kind of thing that eventually he's going to be late game Kali and he's building attack speed items. So does it matter? Probably not. It's just going to destroy people anyway.
Pick up this Oni Fury. Crypt is in the area, but they're just going to have to back out of here. They're going to look on the other side for this Pyromancer's compensation. But I mean, just once again, not in position, not ready for that Gold Fury defense, and that's exactly what's going to happen every time. They've got those triple auto attackers that will absolutely shred any objective at all. So they have to be very, very careful about it.
Yeah, they do at least pick up the Pyromancer in return. That's the classic salty trade-off, right? Like, yeah, we didn't want that Gold Fury anyway. We'll take the Pyromancer, but honestly, that's just kind of how it's going to be now with where the pressure is in this game as AMC gets a little bit of a love tickle from the Elephant.
Yeah, I mean, he's already full health again. He's not really going to notice, but definitely, you know, trying to get active there, and that's what you like to see from your supports. But speaking of getting active, what is this team going to do about these things? As Susano blinks in, throws that 3 down. Unfortunately, it is going to get CC'd, so he can't continue as they get active, but they are able to clear that Oni wave here, and it seems like a lot of these Oni waves are going to go for naught, as the only one left is in that solo, and Ardio's already clearing that right now.
Yeah, not going to do a whole lot. Obviously, the gold's still going to be impactful from that Fury, but Oni pretty much completely negated here by VHS, and I guess well done in that sense. Don't let anything happen from those, so you just get off scot-free. Alright, Oni Furies are done. Let's focus on the next fight.
Yeah, and they need to be focused because, I mean, we're getting closer and closer to the point of the game, especially with now that we're sort of in a double ADC meta. We have seen a lot of teams pressing for this Fire Giant earlier than ever. And so it's a thing to consider. We're getting towards that point of the game where we could start to see these Fire Giant dances. We see Guanyu looking to try and steal this blue buff here. I don't know how successful he's going to be, as AMC looking to run away from these other teams. But Kali coming over onto that other side in the blue buff, looking to help here. As AMC just goes right back onto base. The rest of the team rotating towards this Polygon U combination.
There it is.
As Ardio seems to look to just back on out of there, but the rest of them are in trouble. Susano's here, looking to do a lot of damage, but this Kali's looking to do more, as this Susano is getting absolutely destroyed here and deleted, forced to walk back into the GTN. Kali ult forced out. Guanyu being put in a really, really bad situation. A great Ohm securing that kill there, as Jing Tian is looking to ult the rest of this team into this away from this AMC in order so he can end that fight and just consider the trade good.
That was a whole lot for a global 2-for-1, and one of the kills didn't even come in the team fight. So
I mean, that was just a straight up 1-for-1, as Killjoy got a solo kill on the other side of the map.
Yeah. So I mean, good work from the Hanford Hairnet team. I think that despite only getting 1 kill out of it, that was a pretty convincing fight for them over on the solo side. And in duo, you just didn't crit it off. Just crit more next time. That's my fight.
I think just critting more is generally the best way to win fights in duo right now. It's a shame that a lot of ADCs really haven't figured that out yet. And they'll have to kind of adjust as the meta goes to the crit meta.
Yeah. Worth noting, it looks like Killjoy is gonna, unless he surprises me with that last item, he's gonna go Typhon's Fang as his only lifesteal.
We have seen a lot of this in the SPL.
Yeah.
Going a little bit of that. I believe he should probably get that Bancroft's Talon upgrade. I think that would be very, very beneficial you know, for him as a character. I'm surprised he didn't go it as his first item. But I think if you only go that specific Bancroft's upgrade, then you're not really getting a whole lot of value off of it, as the rest of the team is getting engaged on. You want 3 down, forcing to use that ultimate there and doing a ton of damage. Kali extremely low, but in the middle of 3, looking to get the kill, barely does not get that reset there, which is going to save this fight for VHS. They pick up the kill, they're back on the chase, but they have to be careful. They are under-leveled for this fight, but this Gold Fury is spawning. But as all that's going on the rest of the map, Spooky just got a tower. He's going to die for it, but he just got a tower. And Guanyu's going to get that tower on that right side, increasing the gold lead for Hanford Hairnets.
Yeah, globally, I think that's still going to be a Hanford Hairnets win, at least in terms of golden XP, despite losing more people. And, you know, the tower, I guess, is going to make up for a lot of that. Pyromancer might go to VHS as well, unless Guan Yu's able to pull off a pretty impressive steal.
I think they had the opportunity to go gold here, and they just didn't, which is a big mistake from them. But VHS are going to secure it, and they're looking to try and get this Guan Yu as well. The knockup is good. Ardio's on the chase. The rest of the team is there, but the team is coming in. They're collapsing. A good pull from the Susano, but no damage goes out onto that soul. No follow-up as the rest of the team is in retreat, and it looks like Hanford Hairnets are going to walk out of this engagement just fine.
Yeah, nothing really to worry about. I don't know. I feel like if you're gonna go in, you go in, but that's not the engage. And so you're able to, I guess, force the ult off of Guan Yu, but he is Guan Yu. He's just gonna live those. So coming in and wasting some more resources on him may not have been worth it. And now Hairnet's grouped to this fire giant, and they're gonna go for it.
They've got those Guan Yu heals. I think this is a great call from them. They can choose to back up in this situation, although some poor pathing from Guan Yu may have put him in some trouble as he decides to go the unsafest way possible.
Give him a little curly Q action.
Yeah, look at yeah, I guess a little bit of an adrenaline junkie right there as he tries to come in. He does have that TP coming up very soon, so he can TP back into this fight after that back. And right now, what is VHS kind of thinking? What are they doing? Because their ADC is not there. They're playing a little bit too aggressively for that, I think.
I think you're right. I don't think that Hanford Hairnets know necessarily that he's not there. Obviously, they haven't seen him, but they're just going to back off and farm for a little bit, it seems, which may be good for VHS. VHS playing with all the confidence in the world that you would expect from a team with 7 kills to 4. They just haven't looked at the gold bar yet, and maybe that might lose them a fight eventually, but in the short term, it just means they're playing with a lot of confidence, which you can't hate on, and Gold Fury might go down to the crit.
A nice sneaky Gold Fury there is going to put them into a good situation as the team is not able to capitalize on it, and it's just going to be a free Gold Fury there as Guan Yu tries to play extremely aggressively, but without any follow-up. He's really kind of left on his own.
Yes, tough pathing coming out from the AMC here.
Susano doing a lot of damage here, going into there. Spooky Mars is going to go down as Ganesha is ohming this backline. Over on the other side of the fight, though, it's not all sunshine and roses as Kali is getting in there all by her lonesome. Kali will go down as VHS takes a clean 2-for-1 victory in that fight right there.
Yeah, just bad positioning from the AMC, kind of caught out by himself, and then Skills getting a little too confident on those resets. That's twice now that he's almost gotten it and not quite been able to revive it. Aqua just getting manhandled.
Aqua getting manhandled here, but Jing Tian taking a little bit of damage as well. Yu Huang getting a nice a bit of poke there, but it's going to cost him a lot of poke on himself as Guan Yu looks to come in there. We see Ardio TPing back into this fight, looking to engage here possibly, but it looks like no. They're going to decide to consolidate, get these Scorpions, and try and get this lead a little bit lower. They've already lowered it to about a 2k gold difference. It was at about 4k at one point in this game. And it's really good because at this point, gold lead isn't exactly... It's not too much of a difference maker right now. Some people are going to be ahead. They're going to have items. Like Killjoy's a little bit ahead, but he has the same amount of items as Cajones does right now, as well as, you know, kind of a lot of these leads we see. Magical Sky's actually 2 levels ahead of Camazotz in that support role, so he can get that upgraded starter already next time he backs.
Yeah, just really farming pretty well across the map for Magical Skies. And I don't know, VHS, they are still behind in gold, but the confidence in these fights and really just bad positioning coming out from the Hairnets and letting yourself get picked as a valuable backliner. Xingqian gonna take some poke for exactly the same thing.
Taking almost half his damage from Susano, or half his health bar from Susano taking a lot of poke there, but Jingtian is Jingtian. He'll
Yeah.
have about 800 HP 5. He'll be able to heal that off. But it
Maybe.
looks like VHS is looking to start up this Fire Giant and push the envelope, force some action here. Guan Yu looking to find his way inside. The team stalling, knowing that they have some time. We see Guan Yu finally going in there. We see Ardio looking to go into this Jingtian. They're still on this Fire Giant. 2 members knocked up. Guan Yu going in. Jingtian looking to be caught out here, but he's not taking all that much damage anymore. Yuhuang doing a lot of damage. The Twin Dragons coming out. Skills is in that backline though. He's taking 2. Will he get 3? As on this other side of the fight, Susano looks to go down as well. And it looks like he could be getting 3. Can he get 4? He's right at the door of the Susano there, backing right in front of his face, saying, "You can't stop me. There's nothing you can do about this situation here." As we see Hanford Hairnets looking to go for this Fire Giant here. They have a lot of potential to shred this down, especially with Kali. Susano looking to get in there, make some action happen. We see that he's finally been noticed, though, as the rest of the team's walking out, looking to chase him down. Kali looking to fight him. Kali knows that she can win this as she just shreds him. And that is going to be a deicide and an unofficial quadra kill for Skills right there.
Yeah, just Kaliing people. Got into the back line, and then just anyone who was back there was dead. Not enough peel from the Ganesha to keep his backliner safe. And unfortunately, just a split fight in the front line. They kind of got everything they wanted. They got the full on of the AMC. He was low. He was inside the Ganesha cage, and there just wasn't anybody else. I don't know. The call's not quite being followed up on. Now Hanford Hairnets, the gold lead, and the Fire Giant may be the start of a pretty aggressive snowball.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely not what you want to see. At this point in the game, you have to be extremely careful, because one more team fight, you know, could be the end of it. So they have to worry about it. They've got to get Skills under control here. They have some shells. They need to start upgrading them. In order to be able to get this, in order to be able to, you know, kind of contest with him here. He's doing so much in these backlines of these team fights. In fact, he's top damage on his own team right now. Doing just a ton of work.
Yeah, it is gonna be a really just stop Skills kind of gameplay mentality right now for VHS. And worth noting, Killjoy not actually going to go for the Bancross talent. He's just going solo Typhon's Fang.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
I don't, because that item's not good unless you put lifesteal, but
why
that's
not,
okay.
Man? Why not?
Just because it scales off of your other lifesteal items doesn't mean you actually have to build anymore.
Yeah,
I think he's just realized that the rules don't apply.
Yeah, and it seems like they're gonna go for this 4-1 split here. I definitely respect the call. Skills can absolutely 100% 1v1 the Susano. We've seen it happen across the entire game. But it looks like they might try and distract him and go into the engage here. Guan Yu going into the horse there, going onto the Yuhuang, forcing the beads. Ganesha Ohm down. The Phoenix is already down as the rest of the team is looking to make something happen. The Susano ult's going down, and it looks like Hanford Hairnets are going to expend not that many ults. They're only going to expend 2 ultimates there, as they trade 2 for 2, but get a few relics as well.
Yeah, just a free walk-in Phoenix there, and a good ult from Soul on that play. Just absolutely froze the Ganesha in place, pinned him to the wall with the knockups, and really allowed his AMC to get out, because the AMC, again, kind of got trapped on the Ganesha pillars, but wasn't this time knocked up by the Ganesha as well. That probably would have spelled his death. So clean turn of Phoenix, and now grab a Pyromancer for their troubles, and look at doing it again.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in the game, they have these Oni minions. They still have the Fire Giant cooldown is almost up. There's not much time left on this Fire Giant, but they have these Oni minions. They could go for a little bit of a push there. They've got those Oni fires in left lane, which they can either use to pressure and get a bunch of wards up on the map, or try and pressure for another Phoenix. But it looks like they're gonna pressure and just try and basically get a bunch of vision up and be extremely prepared for this next Fire Giant.
I think he forgot that they changed it and it doesn't build out a rod anymore.
Oh, possibly.
Because
Possibly.
I don't be seeing a whole lot of rod builders these days. It's not one that I'm used to. But hey, bunch of power, whatever.
That
Does
should fill out his 40% penetration as well. So
he does have max def, yeah.
he is gonna be shredding some of these tanks.
Yeah, I mean it's you know, it'll hurt. It'll hurt. I don't know. I didn't expect it. I can honestly say I didn't expect it.
Soul does get just an insane amount of attack speed specifically from that passive
Oh yeah.
alone.
Yeah. I'm
So,
all
I
in
mean, you
on. You don't have to build attack speed on this character. She just has it. She'll just have attack speed forever.
It looks like this Hanford Hairnets squadron is kind of just sitting there waiting, praying someone is just going to walk on out on their lonesome. And it looks like they might have found someone as this RDO is taking a huge chunk of damage. Knocked up, gonna fall. Kamazats is taken, will pick up that kill as Kali continues to go in. The Charybdis is stunned. The Charybdis is taking a lot of damage. Charybdis will go down as well as the rest of the team is in peril. We see Ganesha has taken a lot of damage here from that Guan Yu, making sure something happens, trying to push that envelope. They're trying to stop this Phoenix from going down. Susano's gonna go in, look for some action there, but action will not be given to Yuan coming from the back over there. As we see, he's gonna be punished for that.
Oh, no.
As Kali coming in there, looking to,
Oh no.
looking to pick up that kill as well. As Hanford Hairnets just takes a clean 3-for-1 trade, only trading their solo laner, and it looks like they're gonna go for the end game call here as they walk in, and there is not much VHS can do. They have no ultimates here. Jingtian's throwing them away from there. Kali's going into that base, making sure Susano can't do anything as they go in and end the game.
Yeah, that's a tough defense from VHS. Not able to really even get to the Phoenix to defend it. You just kind of get rolled over before you even get there, and then that was the sad Yu Huang moment. If you played Yu Huang enough, you know the moment of.
With only about a 2K gold lead, that first Fire Giant fight, and as soon as they won that first Fire Giant fight, that was all that they needed. They were completely dominant from that point onward.
Yeah, pretty well played, and honestly, wards played a huge part of that. Spooky and Camazot's just kind of blowing everybody away, getting those wards down. Of course, Bracer helps as well. So you can't win if you don't have vision, and Hairnets had plenty of vision this time around.
What do you think, going into game 2 are a few things that VHS could change in order to do better into this next game?
I think it's going to be important to mind their relic usage. There were a couple of times where they just didn't have what they needed to deal with the Kali dive, and she got in there and just both backliners are popping their relics at the same time when she can only hit one of them, and sometimes you just got to be prepared to tough it out and hold on to that shell a little bit longer.
All right, but that is going to be all for game 1, but don't go anywhere. We're going to come right back with game 2 in just a few. All right, I told you it wouldn't be long. Welcome back, Reap fans. We're going to be going straight into this game number 2, and I know we didn't talk about it a whole lot in this at the end of the last game, but what do you think are some things that you would like to see VHS do in the draft to give them a better shot at winning this next game?
I think I want to see more. We have a plan. Less. Let's all pick our favorite characters because there was plenty of pick ability when it came to a lot of these choices where it's like in lane, we're going to do great. During the laning phase, we're going to get our picks. We're going to get one guy at the start of every fight, and then we don't really have any other plan. I think they need to, even if it's just something simple, even if it's just we picked a character with setup and then we picked a character with a big ultimate and we're going to mush them together, even if that's the whole plan, I would take that plan.
We're seeing a lot of target bans coming out here. We see almost exclusively target bans besides that Thor and that Hades. We see that Charybdis coming out, that Yuhuang coming out, that Jingtian coming out, and that Guan Yu coming out. And besides Guan Yu, I don't really see many of these characters being banned top 3 anymore.
Yeah, I think everyone's angry. I think everyone's going
Mhm.
into game 2 in a bad mood, and so you're just like, "I don't want you to pick that character again. You're not allowed. We're not doing it."
No, they're not. Taking a little bit of
Just what
a
I
little while
needed.
to pick that first pick, and they lock in that Ishtar. I I don't know if I can agree with. I think Ishtar is good, but sitting there and
May your
picking
burdens
Ishtar
not
when
hold
there's
you
characters
back.
like Cernunnos up, there's characters like Cupid up, I think first picking Ishtar might be a little bit of a bad move. And we see they're gonna go ahead and go with this Atlas pickup as well. Another interesting
comes
pickup
by
here,
night.
Atlas X Ball, and X Ball's kind of fallen out of favor in the meta. Speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, he just likes his transcendence, and he doesn't hate Devos,
Your
but he
chances to
really
win the
kind of
fight
likes
have
that
diminished.
transcendence. And so as soon as that started to phase out, Leatherkel loses a little bit of luster. Even though Chevalier obviously loves his Death Soul,
Wisdom shall be my
sometimes he
shield.
just doesn't feel that great right now. To be honest,
Mhm.
his that mid game being as rough as it is really hurts for the objective fights, and I,
Mhm.
I don't know, he just doesn't feel that good anymore.
Yeah, a very, very aggressive set of picks coming out from both these teams. We got that Atlas pick, which is always super aggressive. Athena and Mulan as well, synonymous with just being aggressive um, in their respective lanes and
I'm a
roles. And
monster!
kind of it seems a little bit of a switch off of that, going with that Scylla. Scylla not really known to be aggressive. In fact, known to be a little bit passive, especially until that late game situation.
Yeah, interesting that they decided last time. All right, the Hairnets kind of had a better late game. So what if we just go all late game? Well,
Hmm.
let's try that. And getting rid of the Kali, I think, is going to help them get to that point, but they kind of did exactly what I thought
For
they might, which
Camelot!
was
Hmm.
For
pick a character with a big
Avalon!
ult, pick some setup, and then they're gonna just mush them together. It's perfect.
Yeah, I definitely respect that. You gotta respect that
Death
skills Collie there. I mean,
awaits.
it was in that backline 3v1ing at times and winning. So, I mean, you have to be very, very careful around that. And it looks like they'd rather play against another one of his picks, Thanatos, gonna come in here. And I personally, I don't think Thanatos is necessarily
Time is on our
the
side.
best pickup into their comp. They've got that Atlas and King Arthur. King Arthur can be pretty hard to hit, with how kind of slippery and mobile he is. Um, and Scylla can kind of pretty easily avoid a Thanatos ult if played properly. So they have to be very, very careful with kind of how he approaches that. If he misses that ultimate though, he can be completely capitalized and blown up. You know, that Scylla crush coming in will do a ton of damage. The Sikkim as well, stunning him in place. A lot of things to be afraid of if you're this Thanatos.
Yeah, skills truly is like a living time capsule.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter what season you're in, what the meta's like. You put him in the jungle, and he's just gonna pick Thanatos and Kali. That's just what he does.
Yeah, and I mean he there's a reason that that collie got banned and his Thanatos has been if you've been around Reap for long enough, you know about his Thanatos because I mean it is it is quite the monster.
Yeah, I don't like facing that thing. I don't like it. I would rather play against the Kali, to be honest with you. I just don't like the Thanatos.
I think banning that collie was a good decision from them because they had already locked themselves into Atlas. And I don't know about you, but Atlas ain't doing anything to stop a collie from doing whatever collie wants to do.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at these drafts and I just why I don't know why are we picking Kronos and like Mulan? I
I
don't see the cohesion at all with this one. Whereas last time I was like, okay, this Hairnets draft kind of crazy. Like it all goes together. Late
mhm.
game is gonna be really cool, but like, what are you taunting people like into Chronos stun? Is that the plan? Like who are we hitting Athena taunts on for?
Yeah, I think there is a lot of setup, but not a lot of payoff for that setup. You know,
Yeah.
that Mulan 3, that Athena 3, which is why I think I'm gonna have to give the draft on this phase to that VHS squadron. I really, really like the fact that they're able to be so aggressive and so mobile. King Arthur, a god known for just being able to get in there, is great to have someone like Ratatasker with a global ult who can follow up from almost halfway across the map. Um, is a very, very nice combo to have on that dive, as well as that backline. Scylla can be so safe and such a menace, you know, getting off any sort of crush ability, especially um, in the current meta. You know, Scylla being able to do a ton of DPS and not really a whole lot being able to be done about it. As well as X-Ball, I think I have a few conflictions with that pickup, but I think the rest of the draft is good enough to where I could get over the X-Ball pick.
I agree. I 100% agree. I think we are about ready to hop on over into the game, but I see X-Ball ult into Rat Dunk as something that's really hard to play against, especially if you are
Mhm.
something like the Kronos or the Ishtar. That I mean, you got your little dash on Ishtar and you can Kronos ult, but so I think we are ready to hop into game now. It's just like, what is your play to not get rat dumped if you are a backliner here? That's my question. It is Kronos mid actually.
Yeah, Chrono's gonna be picked up here. Not surprised to see Killjoy on with that Ishtar. Killjoy has been just loving the Ishtar pickup. Pretty much since it came out. So not surprised to see him on it. But as far as the rest of the team, the situation kind of goes, there's really a lot of action to be had from Hanford Hairnets. They really need to get in there. They really need to be aggressive because I think as this game is going to go on, they're going to be outscaled. And look at that King Arthur. King Arthur's already taking so much damage from this Mulan trying to just get in there, get it nice and quick. King Arthur's just gonna back already and just use up the first ultimate.
Yeah, looks like Thanatos was hanging around,
Mhm.
so no way you could stick around there.
Mhm.
Just maybe got caught off guard by that little bit of extra damage from a spike gauntlet rather than a defense item that he may have been expecting. So kind of just ate it right there, and had to bite the bullet and back.
Kind of did have to just bite the bullet and back though. Although he's getting in there, took a nice trade, and is kind of looking to regain control of the lane.
Yeah, and I think he should be fine in that matchup. Again, not a big solo lane guy, but I'm pretty sure at some point you just scale to the point of King Arthur in the mid game where no one can really stop you. And you may fall off late, but he's a long way from that. So
Mhm.
for now, just gonna watch a Kronos, I guess. Looks like he's gonna go into that book build. I guess if you can't beat the scaling mids, join him. Scale harder.
I mean, there are not very many gods scale harder than Scylla, but there is the case to be made that Kronos is one of them. So I really like the ability to kind of transition. It's pretty much their only transitioning late game god. Thana can be extremely strong in the late game with that Mannequin's Scepter, but if he's not careful, he'll just get blown up before anything can really happen.
Kind of going to be interesting to see how well he's going to be able to time that Kronos ultimate. There's a lot of kind of hard-hitting abilities that you don't want to be standing still for. If you're getting low and then you get I'm a monster, you don't want to just stop moving.
The bees coming out here. Ishtar getting pulled, but does not land the full pull, so it will not have really any consequences as they both go out of there. And a nice beads pickup here. Thana's gonna be hitting that level 5 situation pretty soon, so that's something they have to be wary of in that duo lane. They don't have those beads anymore. You have to be very, very careful on how you play that lane.
Yeah, the bees burn is going to hurt. However, not sure exactly how much longer this Athena's gonna be here. Might be able to make use of that though if you're Killjoy. Once we see the supports leave, maybe you can catch him at the tail end and get a good ult off. Chipwalke really does not play that well into the Ishtar. The Aqua pulling the solo kill.
Aqua pulling the solo kill there. X-Ball taking a lot of damage. Athena getting pulled though. The dash is up. Will she dash back in? That X-Ball is looking very, very low. Ishtar wasn't really a huge part of that fight, though. So they have a lot of kill pressure on there. Athena looking to dash, has it charged up, waiting for that opportunity. Gonna go in there. X-Ball 2 coming out, and it looks to be the sweepstakes as he's gonna hit level 5 first. X-Ball coming out, doing a lot of damage. X-Ball 3 coming out there. The ultimates are live, but it looks like he's out of there. Ratatasker coming in there, doing a ton of damage. That Ishtar ult is gonna come back in there and save Ishtar, but Athena is in some trouble. Athena gonna get out with that Athena ultimate as well. A very, very well played situation from both teams there to make sure that neither of them go down in this engagement.
Yeah, a whole lot of loud nothing going on as now Bar's gonna come in and Magical just caught out. A little bit of lazy play in that lane.
A little bit of, you know, lazy play there, being a little bit too far forward for where you can really be. Even on a one-on-one against just the Ishtar, you don't really win that. She can dash into your pole. You know, you have to be a little bit more careful than that when you're in a situation of this sort. Aqua picking up another kill onto Fuzzy Wuzzy, but Skills in the area looking to get the return, but he'll have to back on out as he's also taken quite low from that King Arthur.
Yeah, King Arthur just kind of rolling down this lane right now. Aqua making good work out of really what should be a good matchup with Mulan in the early, but again, looks like just the experience difference. Someone who spends a lot of time in solo versus maybe someone who's still a little new to the role or just not as used to it. If you get the wrong matchup, sometimes it's just what happens.
Yeah, sometimes this is just kind of what happens. Aqua really just playing super aggressively. Already has that 2-level lead and has that sovereignty online, which is going to make him near unkillable even in the 2v1. And so the rest of the team kind of has to figure out what the response is to him.
Yeah, that's going to be the trick at this point is, all right, he's huge. What do we do? Because you can't just let it go or you're going to lose the game. As it's getting rough out here. We
see him doing just a huge amount of damage just in, you know, a fight right there. Mulan healing quite a lot, using that 3 very aggressively. Not something I would expect from someone who just lost a trade for that much. That Kronos is looking to take a lot of damage here, and he will not get off the ultimate there. He's going to go down. A fantastic ultimate from the Ratatasker is going to take down Spookmars. And I've got to ask, what is he doing over there? Why is he so far forward?
It's the same thing we saw with the AMC last time. It's just, where are you going? There's nothing there for you. There's just no reason for you to be over there. So he's gonna start up an item. Is that Soul Gem?
It could be a Soul Gem. He could also be going that Bancroft's Talon, possibly. There's a little bit of a play there. He might just do what Killjoy did last game and go for that exact same build as well. We'll kind of have to see as that progresses. We should find out at least by his next back kind of what direction he's looking to take this build.
Yeah, that's going to be the interesting part. Almost would like to see him just suck it up and do the breastplate build at this point, because I think that this rat has maybe garnered a little bit of a taste for people with clocks on their staff, and he's gonna be back. You don't just get dunked on once and think it's over. I have to assume that there is gonna be some more love in this middle lane, but for now, it's gonna be some stacks built and some backs taken, and moving into the mid game. VHS actually has a taste of a gold lead, something they haven't had so far this set.
Yeah, a very, very nice kind of adjustment from the first game as they kind of go into this game. There's still a decent bit of a lead in that duo lane. Killjoy a level ahead, quite a bit of stacks ahead as well as on that item. But overall, kind of the rest of the map, we see that VHS is kind of ahead in these levels in XP and a little bit of gold as well. So that's something to note. We see Ratatasker going onto that Ishtar, forcing her to leave. Unfortunately, missing the buff there, as we see Aqua picking up another solo kill into that solo lane, playing phenomenally this game so far.
Yeah, he is really going to town right now on the solo lane, doing a good job of just, all right, we need somebody to step up. It's game 2. We kind of had it all right early game last time. We just couldn't pull it out. Aqua, we need you to get big. All right, cool. Give me King Arthur. And he is just doing it for him right now. As Tina trying to make something happen.
Yeah, trying to make them happen. I mean, Zilla has just such an escapability from bad situations with a fantastic escape that Scylla 3 can really get out of most situations in the game. And so that's something that kind of using to their advantage at this point. Scylla just has a little bit of a lead, and Scylla just is fine keeping just a little bit of a lead, because once that late game hits, Scylla hits, because I mean, it's almost like an unstoppable train, the amount of damage that character can do.
Yeah, this is starting to get a little scary for the Hanford Hairnets, is all of the places where you really can't afford for there to be a lead, there's a lead. And
well,
yeah, you've got...
like that might be turning right there as Thanatos looking to go in, be aggressive. The Scylla ult coming out, not being able to pick up the kill, but is going to be able to do a little bit of wave clear there. Very nice from the Scylla. But what I was about to speak to is that Hanford Hairnets have kind of taken control of the gold lead once again through just overall better farming. And it looks like over on that solo side of the map, they're looking to pick up another kill there. Aqua going to go down. His first death of the night. The skill's going to pay as well. Mulan going to pay. And follow up is in that death spree as well. So Hanford Hairnets, what was looking good, what was looking like a good fight for them, they got the shutdown on Aqua, so it's not all is lost. It's not really that bad for them. They got a pretty massive shutdown on Aqua, but they immediately turned it around. Not that kill isn't really gonna allow Fuzzy Wuzzy to get back into the game, which they kind of desperately need him to. That Mulan isn't gonna scale very well. They kind of need him to find his way into this mid-game and create a lot of impact there.
And speaking of the Thanatos, that early game monster is 2 levels down. Now 0 and 1, starting to really feel it a little bit. That's going to be one to look at as we start getting into this mid and late game, as finally ticks over to level 10. Is can the Thanatos find a way to make use this dive of Mulan Thanatos while behind may end up being pretty tough. As pretty simple poke coming out there from the Ishtar. You can't get that close.
No, I mean, especially at this point, Ishtar has an item lead, is going that crit build. You absolutely cannot fight an Ishtar at this point of the game. And Ishtar is going to go in, take that ultimate, do the 3. Will he be able to pick up the kill? Killjoy is going to pick up that kill. A nice combo there underneath the tower, diving. And it looks like no one's really looking at him. They're not really going to be able to force anything. Force any compensation for that. So just a clean solo kill from Killjoy.
Yeah, just not really playing that wave correctly.
In the mid lane, that Chronos going to go down as well. A nice rat dunk from the opposite side of the map.
Well, that's how you respond.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get something somewhere. So, you know, a nice response from them. We see King Arthur also just starting to proxy here, putting a lot of work in over there. And whenever someone's comfortably proxying, you've got a little bit of you've got to take care of.
Yeah, especially as this Thanatos still struggling to catch up. Does now tick over to 11, but I'm just not so sure what this dive is going to look like late game. Whereas King Arthur and Rat, you kind of know what that looks like. You don't have to think about that one too hard. I don't know. It's going to be something to see if maybe this backline is going to be able to free cast, or if they're going to have to find some other way to get the dive off. Chivalake on the run.
Chivalake on the run. Athena throwing in that top, but Scylla is in the area. Gonna basically force them to back off. Can't be too aggressive ever against Scylla, because, I mean, already at this point in the game, that ultimate is going to do an insane amount of damage. Atlas looking to get active, but not really much else to be found here, as the rest of the team is kind of backing off and going away.
Yeah, nothing really going on now. Just looking to pressure out the Chivalake. I think they've realized right lane may be a lost cause, so gonna look to put this into Killjoy's hands and see if you can give him the keys and let him carry this one, and continuing to pressure will help as purple.
Okay, he isn't gonna be able to pick up that purple buff there. He swapped into that swapped into the stance that doesn't go right in front of him. That ultimate is going to come down. The 3cc immunity comes out just in time before it gets canceled. We see Atlas coming here looking to make a play happen. But will it be enough? It looks like Ishtar is kind of none the wiser here. But X-Ball is taking the safe path, which means that there's not really a whole lot of engagement to be made here.
Yeah. They're really forcing it, and it just isn't quite happening yet. I think they just need to take it a little bit slower, show a little bit of patience.
Yeah, Killjoy, not the patient type, though, looking to be very, very, very aggressive here, as the rest of his team is on top of that Pyromancer, and VHS gets the steal away from them. Very, very nice. King Arthur getting very active, able to just kind of stand in front of them and say, do something about it.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough objective to just lose like that, but you've got a gold lead despite being down in kills. Something worth noting here, Scylla Relics.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. Maybe the other team doesn't notice, doesn't
right
care.
Now,
Yeah.
in case you don't know, there was an unintended interaction with B's Aegis, and as such, it is banned content in order to buy both relics at the same time, and because of that, I mean, Hanford Hairnets reserves the right to take this as a forfeit victory.
Yeah, and don't feel bad for Scylla. He's not alone. Because Shiblanke did it too.
Yeah, X-Ball did it as well, and I think this is something you have to be careful of. King Arthur getting active though. Chronos taking a lot of damage though. Force the ultimate will not land, as the rest of this team fight seems to be going in the way of VHS, as Atlas taking a lot of damage. King Arthur going forward. You see that Scylla crush coming down. Atlas going out as well. Reditasker taking a lot of damage. Scylla ultimate doing a lot. Ishtar going to be taking a lot of damage from that Scylla ultimate. Aegis is coming out. Cajones is getting the kill. Scylla coming in there doing a lot of damage and uses that Aegis. And we're going to see a pause.
Yeah.
And if you don't know by now, it seems that this pause kind of signifies what is to come. Both Aegis is used. I mean, at this point, there's not really any excuse not to take the forfeit victory, and that's exactly what they do. They take the forfeit victory and take a 2-0 over the VHS squad. Yeah, they take a 2-0 victory over the VHS squad. Unfortunate. It was looking to be, hyping up to be a very, very nice game, but I respect it. It's an unfair advantage that the enemy team has that you don't. And I think you could definitely make the case that fight goes differently if some of the backliners of Hanford Hairnets are able to have Aegis. So they take the 2-0 victory, and that is kind of where it stands.
Yep, that's pretty much it. They lost the fight and realized that they had Aegis on the other team, and they did what they're allowed to do. I mean, yeah.
No. Well, with that is going to be all for tonight. This pause goes on for, I think, another like 5 to 10 minutes.
Then the arguing starts.
But yeah, this pause goes on for another 5 to 10 minutes. So that is going to be all for tonight. I'm your host, Muffin Man. I was joined by the wonderful, the cute Bracking. And we will see you guys next time. There is one more match later tonight, so make sure you tune in at 9 p.m. EST to that match. And there will be a match Monday night as well. So make sure to tune into those. But that is going to be all for right now. We will see you guys soon. Peace.